Singapore, known for its gleaming skyline, efficient public transport, and diverse culture, is often hailed as a model city. But beneath the surface of this modern metropolis lies a shadowy side rarely discussed in tourist brochures or travel blogs. Today, we're delving into the lesser-known corners of Singapore, uncovering the hidden truths and untold stories that reveal a side of the Lion City that few dare to explore. Get ready to see the Lion City in a whole new light as we uncover the dark side of Singapore that they don't tell you. Number 1. Singapore's cost of living is high. Living in the Lion City comes at a cost that may bring tears to your eyes. The Economist Intelligence Unit reports that New York and Singapore are the top 2 most costly cities in the world. However, what impact does that have on your finances? Let's analyze it thoroughly. According to BBC Corp, if you aim to have a comfortable lifestyle in Singapore, you will need to spend between $6,000 and $8,000 monthly. And what is the reason for that? The monthly cost of living for one person can vary from $3,000 to $4,000. Isn't it bizarre? Now let's address the obvious issue that everyone is aware of: housing. Whether you're looking at private property or a simple HDB flat, be prepared for exorbitant rent costs. Public housing is also experiencing a continuous increase in expenses, with no exception to the rising costs. The market is extremely competitive, and I don't even want to begin talking about groceries. Channel News Asia stated that the cost of 30 eggs surged from $4.65 to $6.15 in just 2021. That is not a joke, people. Dollar and Cents calculates that on average, a Singaporean household spends a staggering $199 monthly solely on food and groceries. That hurts. Now let's change focus to another expensive part of life in Singapore: having a car. Singapore has been named by Business Insider as the costliest location globally for purchasing a car. For what reason, you inquire? It is all a part of the master plan to reduce traffic jams and preserve valuable land. However, at what expense? In order to give it some context, let's discuss the statistics. SmartWealth states that in April 2023, you will need to shell out an astounding $166,888 for a Toyota Corolla Altis. Compare this to the US cost of only $30,100. That is a substantial amount to pay for traveling in a fashionable manner. After investing in a car, get ready for the continuous costs. Taking care of your car in Singapore can be more expensive than you think, especially when unexpected repairs come up. Let's have a look at the analysis, shall we? Running a car in Singapore comes with a variety of expenses, including road tax and parking fees. Keeping those wheels turning without spending a fortune is always a struggle. The less attractive aspect of residing in Singapore. Certainly, it is a lively and active city, however, it comes with a cost. Number 2. Singapore is a small country. Singapore is a strong force in economy and innovation despite being one of the world's smallest countries, with mainland Singapore covering about 710 square kilometers. The small amount of space in Singapore makes it difficult for locals to satisfy their wish for a different environment within the country. Although we have many impressive skyscrapers and lively neighborhoods, some residents crave the openness of nature or the peace of rural areas. It's not only about desiring a different environment. The size of Singapore has real consequences, particularly in terms of owning property. Acquiring a large property here is challenging due to the limited availability of land. Many Singaporeans struggle to afford large homes due to the high demand and scarce supply, causing prices to soar. Picture a situation where you desire to stretch your legs or increase your living space, but instead find yourself surrounded by towering apartment buildings, restricting your movements. For many people living here, it is a fact that shows the compromises of residing in a small city setting. Now, let me clarify. There are advantages to Singapore's small size as well. Our efficient design ensures that all amenities, including fine dining and quality healthcare, are easily accessible. Additionally, our effective public transportation system makes it easy to travel. However, it is crucial to recognize the other side of the argument. The challenges and limitations that accompany the small size of our island nation are often overlooked in the midst of all the glitz and glamour. Number 3. Singapore has a lot of strict and weird laws. Singapore is famous for its pristine streets, reliable public transportation, and delicious cuisine. Did you realize that beneath this neat appearance, there is a complex system of regulations, some of which may be confusing? Get ready for a thorough examination of the obscure laws in Singapore that are often kept hidden from the public. Let's begin with something that appears harmless: chewing gum. In Singapore, chewing gum is not just a casual activity, but a matter of great importance. Chewing gum that is not for medicinal use and not purchased from pharmacies may result in a fine of up to $100, 000, or a 2-year prison sentence if caught. If you smoke, you may want to reconsider before smoking in public. If you light a cigarette in a place where smoking is not allowed, you may have to pay $150. If you are considering spitting on the sidewalk without much thought, reconsider your actions. Getting caught spitting or ejecting mucus in public could result in a fine of $1,000. Discuss the importance of maintaining clean streets. Jaywalking may appear to be a harmless way to cut corners, but in Singapore, it is treated with great seriousness. If you do not use the designated areas to cross the road, you may be fined up to $1,000 or imprisoned for 3 months. It seems like we will continue to use the crosswalks. Here's a surprising one for you: providing food for pigeons. Feeding these birds could result in a fine of up to $500 if you are caught. Therefore, if you had intended to have a picnic with our pigeon friends, you may want to reconsider. And can't have a night out without a little drink, correct? No, not in Singapore. Consuming alcohol in public areas from 10:30 p.m. to 7 a.m. may result in a penalty of up to $1,000. It seems like you'll have to postpone those late-night drinks until you are inside again. Now, we all enjoy singing along, but you should be cautious about the lyrics you sing in front of others. Singing a song with inappropriate lyrics could result in a 3-month jail sentence. Therefore, it might be better to keep those explicit songs for your shower time. And lastly, let's discuss physiological processes. Using public spaces to respond to the need to use the restroom could result in a significant financial penalty. Using private or non-shared toilets for urination may lead to a penalty of up to $1,000. It appears that now is the moment to wait until you locate a bathroom. However, the laws related to drugs may be the most severe. Importing drugs into Singapore or having them in your possession can result in fines of up to $20,000, and in certain instances, even the death penalty. Therefore, it is advisable to avoid engaging in any illegal activities if you wish to avoid getting caught up in a challenging situation. Number 4. Lack of space, noise. Tall buildings, busy roads, and the continuous buzz of urban living. Feeling the burden is inevitable when you discover that Singapore ranks among the highest for population density globally. But well, at least it's not as disorderly as Saigon, correct? Everywhere you turn, there are tall buildings and busy roads filled with cars rushing past. At times, in the middle of all the commotion, all you yearn for is a moment of tranquility and silence. You know, it's like being in the desert, with only silence around you. However, locating a peaceful moment in Singapore can seem as difficult as finding a needle in a haystack. The sound, oh the sound. The symphony of sound, from the noise of traffic to the buzz of crowds, continuously echoes without diminishing. Let's discuss space, or more accurately, the absence of it. Due to the high population density in this small island nation, very few individuals have the means to access spacious living areas. Are apartments compact, lacking personal space? Let's just put it this way: it's a valuable resource. Before you jump to conclusions about Singapore being all negative, remember this: it's also a place known for its remarkable ability to bounce back and come up with new ideas. Even though it is small, Singapore has succeeded in becoming a dominant force on a global scale, setting trends in technology, finance, and sustainability. And in the midst of all the disorder, there are areas of calmness waiting to be discovered. There is always a place to retreat from the hustle and bustle, whether it be wandering through Singapore's scenic parks or discovering peace in a secluded cafe. Number 5. Labor exploitation. Exploitation of labor, a chilling phrase. However, what does it truly signify? In simple terms, it occurs when employees are exploited, frequently receiving meager pay for extended, strenuous shifts. Unfortunately, it is a situation that occurs more frequently than one might imagine, even in a busy city like Singapore. The Asia-Pacific Migration Network reports that foreign workers in Singapore encounter numerous obstacles. They labor in dangerous environments, withstand extended workdays, and earn minimal wages. However, that is not everything. Many of these workers are also subjected to mistreatment by their employers and labor contractors. Now, you may be asking yourself, what is the reason for this occurrence? One of the issues stems from a concept called circular migration. It resembles a rotating door, with low-wage migrants migrating between their home country and Singapore repeatedly. This continuous motion results in minimal job stability and even fewer chances of establishing roots in Singapore. However, it's not solely related to ensuring one's job stability. These employees have limited job movement, lack strong wage security, and frequently operate in hazardous environments. It is a situation of exploitation that is occurring right in front of us, creating a perfect storm. Despite being the foundation of Singapore's economy, the tales of mistreatment and prejudice towards these workers are frequently disregarded. It is now the moment to expose this grim truth and call for transformation. Singapore is advancing economically, but we must not ignore the hardships faced by those who contribute to its growth. It is the moment to rise, voice our opinions, and request improved conditions for every worker, no matter their origin. Number 6. Crony capitalism. What is crony capitalism in essence? Consider a scenario where the wealthy and influential have complete control. They are not only participating in the game, they are also creating the rules. It's similar to having an exclusive ticket to achievement, but only accessible to those within the elite's inner circle. Simply put, crony capitalism occurs when individuals and businesses with political connections receive unfair benefits due to close relationships with government officials. Consider it like a high-stakes competition where the chances are unfairly set in favor of a small, privileged group. You may be asking yourself, what does this look like in Singapore? Get ready, because it's going to be a crazy journey. Despite being known for capitalism, Singapore harbors a hidden truth. Cronyism is deeply ingrained in its society. Singapore was placed 4th in the 2023 Crony Capitalism Index by The Economist magazine, based on billionaire wealth in the crony sector as a portion of GDP. Indeed, individuals. As we focus on rejoicing over the expansion of the economy, a particular group is collecting the majority of the profits. However, what reason do you have to be interested? In the end, isn't capitalism really about rivalries and survival of the strongest? The fact of the matter is, crony capitalism is not only unjust, but also harmful to society as a whole. When a small group of influential people dominate the industry, it hinders creativity, fosters unfairness, and weakens the core values of a competitive market. Regular people like us end up bearing the cost, while a privileged few enrich themselves. Number 7. Smuggler's Den. Were you aware that Singapore is known as the Smuggler's Den? However, you may be wondering, ultimately, the key factor is the existence of multinational corporations, known as MNCs, within the country. We're discussing major companies such as Chevron, Merck & Co., General Electric, and others. They arrive with the potential for increased wealth and success. Upon first glance, it appears to be a perfect match, doesn't it? However, if you dig deeper, you will uncover a different narrative. While multinational corporations strengthen Singapore's economy, they also overshadow local businesses. A lot of people are afraid of being overshadowed and outperformed by these large corporations. Not only are there business concerns, but the increase in foreign investment also brings about another negative aspect: smuggling. The presence of numerous foreign investors has unintentionally encouraged the illegal trafficking of forbidden goods. It is a secret world functioning right in front of us, adding to Singapore's hidden side. However, the question worth $1 million is it all worth the effort? Of course, economic growth is crucial, but what sacrifices are being made? Do the drawbacks outweigh the advantages? It is a complicated matter that necessitates our focus. Number 8. Money laundering. Money laundering, commonly seen in crime shows and suspenseful movies, is not just a made-up concept. It is a grim truth even within the modern city of Singapore. In Singapore, there are strict bank secrecy laws and no routine currency reporting requirements. Does it seem like a stronghold of financial stability? These laws create an appealing environment in Singapore for individuals with illegal intentions. Consider drug dealers, organized crime groups, terrorist groups, and even regular acquaintances wanting to clean up illegally obtained money. Are you aware that the bank secrecy laws in Singapore are more stringent than Switzerland's? That really means something. Although it is praiseworthy for its security measures, it also sets the stage for illicit activities to flourish. Picture this. As you wander through the lively streets of Singapore, gazing at the modern skyscrapers, little do you know that billions of dollars are being transferred behind closed doors, frequently without supervision. Isn't it a thought that makes us feel somber? The lack of clarity in Singapore's financial system is truly a two-sided issue. Although it offers unmatched security for lawful assets, it also serves as protection for illicit profits. Exactly right. It's similar to having Fort Knox guarding your savings account, yet also unintentionally protecting stolen wealth. And the consequences reach well beyond the boundaries of Singapore. Money that is laundered in Singapore may quickly end up in various global locations, supporting illegal activities and causing disruptions in economies. It is a problem that is worldwide, but has origins in specific communities. What measures can be taken to address this negative aspect of Singapore? Enhanced transparency and cooperation among global authorities are essential measures. Singapore has made progress in tightening its regulations in recent years, but there is more work that needs to be completed. The campaign against money laundering continues, utilizing improved due diligence methods and advanced tracking technologies, and it's a struggle that demands alertness from every sector of society. Number 9. Environmental issues. In Singapore, as in many other successful countries, there is a challenge that needs to be addressed. The quest for progress frequently results in harm to our natural surroundings. With the disappearance of green landscapes and the rise of skyscrapers, we are confronted with a challenging question. Is it possible for progress to exist alongside sustainability? Singapore is facing a critical moment, dealing with issues ranging from water scarcity and energy security to carbon awareness and waste generation. The issues have been brought to the forefront of our collective consciousness due to rapid urbanization and booming commercialization. However, the most urgent issue may be the one that directly affects us: the increase in sea levels and the erosion of coastlines. Singapore is more than just a typical island country. Being heavily populated and flat in terrain, the state is at high risk for the consequences of climate change. Here's the twist. A large part of Singapore's essential infrastructure is dangerously near sea level. This signifies that our businesses, our residences, our very lifestyle are all in jeopardy. Now, you may be asking yourself, why aren't these matters being discussed more? In reality, Singapore's government tightly regulates its media. It's something we cannot overlook. Number 10. Lack of freedom of expression. Since 1959, Singapore has been governed by the People's Action Party, also known as PAP. Yes, you heard correctly. For quite a while now, it has been a one-party affair. And what is the significance of that? Well, it indicates that they have a strong hold on the story. Imagine this: government-affiliated companies owning newspapers, radio stations, and even television channels. Now, what do you believe occurs when the media has a close relationship with the government? You got it right. News reporting that follows the party's agenda. What are the consequences of this close relationship between the media and the government? You understand. A significant absence of freedom of speech. Yes, expressing your thoughts in Singapore can result in significant penalties. The government enjoys using the terrorism and racial tension issues as excuses to suppress opposing voices. There has been no sign of improvement. No, if anything, they are becoming more strict. Only a couple of years ago, in 2015, the PAP government increased its control even more. Bloggers and freelance writers are all being monitored closely by Big Brother. Now let me clarify. It cannot be denied that Singapore is a remarkable city, shining with economic power and innovation. As the saying goes, every coin has a flip side. Singapore has a hidden dark side that remains in the shadows. Therefore, what is the main lesson to be learned from this? The explanation is straightforward. Items that appear too good to be true frequently are. Beneath its picture-perfect exterior, Singapore hides a different narrative. However, it's not entirely negative and hopeless. Singapore is implementing measures to tackle these problems. Rules are being implemented, and by maintaining a positive outlook, we can anticipate a more promising tomorrow. Therefore, let's raise a toast to wish for the best for the Lion City. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed.